CES 2025 is starting, I believe, tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of weirdness announced. There's already been a lot of things that have come out gaming wise from certain companies. And one company I want to talk about is Hyperkin. These guys, I'm very mixed on with their products. They say they're a retro gaming company, but I barely ever see them release anything anymore. I mean, they used to release like little consoles and stuff. They did the Retron 5 and then their little clone consoles, the HDMI, Super Nintendo, NES, and they had previous ones that were just AV output and then little controllers here and there. But then it's kind of silent. They would announce things, never come out with them. They had like their Nintendo 64 clone console. They teased like a Game Boy at some point, a clone Game Boy. The PC Engine or TurboGrafx clone console. I don't know. I don't know what's up with these guys. So all I ever see them doing as of late is like Xbox stuff, like controllers. They're remakes of the old Xbox, like Duke controllers, stuff like that. And then like their earpiece, headphone thing. I don't know. I don't really see them do too much. I don't know how they stay afloat. I know they have like other little shell companies, like other brands that people may not be aware of. But one thing they've been getting flack for, and we're going to talk about something else that just was announced that I find ridiculous. But one thing that they were getting flack for a few days ago is this Hyper Strummer. So a lot of people love, the guitar games like Guitar Hero, Rock Band. And then now with Fortnite, there's, some game in there that you could play, guitar. And then Clone Hero on PC, which is a lot of fun. I've been playing that as well. So having companies come out with new guitars is pretty sweet. Like, didn't PDP, they came out with the, new Riffmaster not too long ago. I got one for the PS5 and Xbox, and it's pretty sweet. I've been playing with those quite a bit, using on PC as well. Playing, Clone Hero and on a PS5, playing some Rock Band. But Hyperkin, they announced this Hyper Strummer for the Wii. Are people still playing like these guitar games on the Wii? I mean, maybe. So, I mean, I'm all for like re-releasing or releasing peripherals for old consoles because, yeah, a lot of the stuff that came out years past may be junked now, worn out. So cool, right? But that's not what a lot of people were thinking, apparently here. When I read these comments, I saw this the other day. I wasn't too interested because I don't really play the Wii, but I started seeing a lot of people talking crap. This guy right here, get this 15-year-old garbage off sale ASAP. You chuggle fucks are repackaging old stock, lying to your customer base by telling them you made improvements. I'm sorry to tell you, but having Jimbo shove the guitar up his ass before repackaging them is not an improvement. Is it not 2025? Biggest L 2025 so far, selling old bootleg Wii guitars. We'll be buying the cracked guitar instead. That's right. Isn't cracked doing something like a little, I don't know. I have to look into that. Imagine seeing two companies announce brand new guitars for modern consoles and decide, yeah, time to repackage our old stock Wii guitars from 2009. You can keep the Hyper shitter. So a lot of people talking crap. This person, they got one apparently a little early, a couple weeks before it came out, I guess, because Hyperkin, they say we're a retro game company, even though I never see them barely ever release any new stuff for retro consoles anymore. They used to quite often, not so much now. They might advertise some of their old stuff that they released years ago, but I just see them releasing like Xbox stuff all the time. And then this pops up, something that apparently a lot of people are saying was from 2009. This person says that they got it in Hyperkin, they sell stuff they distribute to retro game stores a lot. I see their stuff in retro game stores. This person said that they bought it, and not even 2 weeks later, they're already overstrumming, dropping notes. Absolutely not worth it. Right? What should we get instead? Literally anything else but this. So the other thing I was seeing a lot of people are annoyed with is because this thing, the Wii guitars, you had to have a Wiimote plugged into it, right? It's not just an all-in-one guitar. It has to sync up with the Wiimote to the Wii. That's just the way it worked. A lot of people were like, we want this to be able to use with other things. We don't want this, right? That's what a lot of the issues were. And then people saying you're just repackaging some old stuff. A lot of people are like, you just had old stock sitting around. So this prompted Hyperkin to address some concerns. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but they're just like, hey, we developed this to meet demand for a budget-friendly solution. It's on Amazon if you're interested anyway. But they go on to say like how these peripherals are selling for a lot of money nowadays, and they just wanted to bring something out. And while it is correct that it's the same shell mold from their release in 2009, that's all. That they just used the same mold to make the brand new shells, and they put new components into it. It's not old stock, nor is it stuff that was sitting around in like a warehouse that they just repackaged. That's it. That they got new stuff going on, right? They got a lot of stuff going down, and they do, which we're going to look at in a second. I just found kind of funny and stupid, but that's just my opinion. But like that's it. Like a lot of people are like, it's such an oddly specific peripheral. How many people are playing Rock Band on Guitar Hero, on the Wii? Right? If you just made just plain old Wiimote controllers instead, then at least you'd widen your base. We're a retro company. That's what they keep saying. A lot of these responses, we're a retro company. We're a retro company. We're still cooking. We're a retro company. I don't just because you released this? I don't know. Like these people are like, thankfully we already have a RAFnet adapter, but it'd be a smart move to make Wii guitars, but still don't think it's a smart move to make Wii guitars after the outpour of fans wanting Guitar Hero style controllers for Clone Hero and Fortnite Festival. Fortnite ain't even on the Wii. we cater to retro gaming stores, right? So this would have been a hit, I think, if they released it as is, but then with the addition of like USB, right? And I think I've seen some people mention that. If it had like USB or like some kind of dongle to attach to PC, I don't know, like just something to make it PC compatible without any other kind of workarounds, without having to buy a RAFnet adapter, without having to do anything else, right? Just out of the box, if it was like, okay, it's for the Wii, but then it also comes with this component that we added on top of what we did in 2009. We added this to make it compatible with PC so you could play Fortnite Festival, so you could play Clone Hero. That would have been a hit, I think. But a lot of these companies, they take the easy route, I don't know. I'm going to have to take a look at this listing at some point, but I'm going to imagine that this is not going to be a big seller. I just imagine it's not. But the thing that I wanted to really talk about was this thing that I've only seen IGN and a few others talk about, but there's a video. I'll kind of show some clips of it. But Hyperkin unveils their DualSense style Xbox controller called the Competitor. Goofiness, man, goofiness. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person when it comes to like first party consoles, other than a Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch, I hate the Joy-Cons, but when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, I have a PS5, I have a Series X and S. Previous generation had PS4, Xbox One. For that, Xbox 360, PS3, so on and so forth. I always used their controllers. Can their controllers have some upgrades without having to buy their more expensive $200 plus controllers? Sure. I think every controller should have Hall effect sticks, but I never buy third-party controllers for those systems. PlayStation, I want to use a PlayStation controller. Xbox, I want to use an Xbox controller. But Hyperkin, for some reason, they think Xbox players want to use a DualSense style controller. Maybe some will. This thing, it does have Hall effect sticks. It has Hall effect shoulder buttons, from what I understand, or triggers. It also has like macro buttons on the back. Quality-wise, I don't know. They're supposed to have this on display at CES, so maybe some people will get their hands on it to test it out. But I don't know. A lot of people who play Xbox, I'd imagine they want to use Xbox style controller. But at the same time, my biggest problem with this is it's wired. I don't know about you. I'm fine with wired controllers in certain regards, but it's mostly when it comes to retro consoles. But then we do have newer controllers for retro consoles that are wireless, and it's just kind of convenient. The only thing with that is like, having to recharge controllers, stuff like that. So wired, like having a spare wired controller, I guess that's okay. In a pinch, in an emergency, that might be cool. But I don't know. It's like a Player 2 controller, in my opinion. It's like you throw to your little brother, your friend, or something. Like I don't know. Like people buy third party controllers when they're cheaper than the first party controller, but it's always like you wait till like Black Friday, holiday time, you get a first party controller cheap, or not cheap, but cheaper than normal, right? Get those deals like $40 or whatever instead of the $60, $70. And I'd imagine that this is probably going to be like 40 to $50. I mean, who the hell's going to want to use this thing? Just because it looks like a PS5 controller. I think it's goofy. And it just makes me wonder, like, it's an Xbox controller. I don't see Hyperkin doing too much retro stuff. Like I said earlier, all these things that they announced years past, going all the way back to like 2018, 7 years ago with their little Game Boy, never came out. Was that a joke? I don't know. They did make jokes before about things that they were going to bring out, but this is not a joke. It's not April. I mean, they're bringing this thing out, but all these other things that they talked about, we're a retro company, but I don't see them ever doing retro stuff, man. I think this is goofy. Are you excited for it? I just think it's weird. I don't want a PlayStation style controller for my Xbox. I don't know. Let me know what you think. There you go. Is Hyperkin smoking crack? Maybe. Bye.